Hey guys, this is Branson here, and I want to start making this kind of video. In fact, this is going to be my very first video that I want to put up on probably a brand new YouTube channel. And the purpose of this is to document my journey of growing my Skool communities, right? Growing my monthly recurring revenue. And the vision of this is to be as transparent as possible and showing all the growth, all the journey, and all the mistakes that I personally learned. And I want to put all of them into numbers as well inside this tracker that I just created a couple of hours ago. So I've tweaked it, changed it a few times, and I want to see what else can I put in there so that I can just a glance and I can see everything and all the numbers. I think this is probably the version 1. I might change them in the future, but then right now I think I wouldn't be changing majorly, right, for the rest of October, November until December. I think that's at least what I'm going to use for the next month or so to close out 2024. So right now, just to give you guys a quick heads up that I have nothing to sell you. Please don't buy anything from me, right? I'm doing this just to document for myself so I myself can look back, and also I think it's pretty cool when I started record this when I started from the very beginning, because I see for the people who I follow, right? The moment I see them, they're already successful, they're already 10K MRR, whatever, 50K, 100K. But then I don't know the ins and outs, when they haven't quote unquote made it yet, right? So I think it's pretty cool if I can just document it and I have all the proof, of how I went from literally zero, starting from scratch, to I don't know how far can I go. I'll just keep pushing, right? So nothing to sell you. Please don't buy anything from me. And I don't want to do this for the algorithm. That's why I've created a brand new YouTube channel. And I just do it and I just throw it out there without any fancy cuts or anything, right? Just be as raw as possible, as transparent as possible, nothing to sell you. Basically, that's the whole purpose, right? So right now, back to the core content right now. So just to give you some context, right now I have 2 groups set up like this. Okay, so if I go on to my profile here, okay, so right now on Skool, if you go onto my profile, basically I have these 2 group right now, which is a free group and a paid group. And again, right, this is not for you. Basically this is for beginners who want to start making money online with faces, YouTube channels, and AI. So that's our niche right now. We might change in the future, but then it is not for you, right? So if you're watching this right now, probably you're trying to grow a Skool community, you are more established entrepreneurs. So again, this is not for you. Please don't buy, right? Don't mess up my data. I'm afraid that when I push this video and then people go on and join and then they just skew my data, right? So I want to keep my data pure so that I know, I am just getting people who are interested in my stuff, right? So that's why very important. Please don't go and mess up my data, please. So that's the overall thing, right? A free group and a paid group. So just to give you a context, right? I just started this paid group back in, let me see here, 22nd, right? 22nd of October is where I actually started the paid group and I got my first client. And the cool thing about this spreadsheet, right, the way I put it is that, I put it all this yellow highlight is where I know there's a major event or major changes happening. And I actually put a note there. So every little yellow column that you see, right, there's a story to tell because there's a lesson and a mistakes made in there, right? Some changes, something happened there. Basically, I have some story to tell. And it also reminds me, because sometimes, in a day-to-day things as an entrepreneur, right? We do so many changes, so many decisions, and we tweak things, we change things, and then we see things, results, see feedback. But then over time, we forgot about it. So I want to remind myself what happened there, because sometimes the funny thing about entrepreneurship for myself, right? Especially myself, is that sometimes when I found something works and I stop doing that for some reason, it's very weird. So I want to remind myself what works, and please remind myself to just do more of that, do more of what works and less of what doesn't. So it's very important, number 1, remind myself. Secondly, so that I can remember what's happening there in that particular event. And so if I want to share any lessons, I can share it, or else I'm going to forget about it, right? Just too many things. For example, you can see here, it's maybe 10 things there. And all these 10 things, there's something happening there. For example, if I just click on one of these, right? So this is where I have my first one-on-one client. And initially, I created the paid group. It is not named in this way. It's basically just a pay. I'm just using Skool as a payment processor to process a high-ticket one-on-one client. And it is like a blank group, you know, like nothing in there, just for payment processing, and then like working with my client for one-on-one. And so that's the initial plan. But then I decided to turn it into a low ticket paid group. So I start setting up, right? So you can see here, I got my first client for $4.99 a year. And then you can see I didn't like get a single, you know, paid member, because I'm like working behind the scene to like set up the classroom, set up the branding and everything, right? And figure out what's going to be the niche, what's the offer and everything. And then, so I haven't actually quote unquote officially launched it until where we see here, well, this is where I get my first client here, right? The first low ticket paid member is like 31st of October. So it took me around a week of preparation until I make a decision, done, set up everything, and I just like launch and try to see if I can get some members in, right? So I got one member here, and then another member here, and then more members right now. And you can see like a spikes here, right? 6 and 11 over here. And I have something to share. Maybe I'll do it in another separate videos, because this one little yellow box itself, right? It could be like a whole story, right? There are like many things happening over there. And then you're thinking like, why 00 suddenly become like 6 and 11? Why is there's a surge and there's a spike over there, right? So I have a lot of stuff to share. But then right now, I just want to give you the whole context and background is that I started a paid group with just one-on-one client. And then I decided to turn it into paid members. And then I start doing paid. And also I started off with just an annual payment. So you can see here, only charging for $249. I got one client, another $249. Right, and then from here I started opening for a monthly. So you can I started to see like offering monthly right now. So at the moment of I'm recording this video is actually 8th of November here in Malaysia. So the 7th November data just concluded. So right now, I have like 27 paid members, and then total revenue generated from 22nd of October until 7th of November now is like $7,483, and then the total monthly recurring revenue is $1,300. And the MRR is slightly skewed higher, right? Because I have like a one-on-one client here that offer 417 MRR for a year. So that boosts up the MRR, right? So this is like an outlier. I don't actually do a lot of one-on-one, so I don't push it really, but I just do it when it's a right fit and I really want to help that person. So I do like a one-on-one thing. So mostly I want to grow it as a low ticket paid membership for now. And then you also see that's why I have like $499. For this column here, and then I'm charging $249 a year, and so $39 a month. So right now I'm doing like a pre-launch discount in November, and then I'm gonna plan on to increase the price to $49 a month and $349 a year, and then continue to raise the price from there. So that's the plan. So right now that's why you see like it's all blank right now. It's all blank. So basically that's the evolvement. So that's the first context that I want you to know, which is how this paid group actually evolved, right? And then secondly, which is a free group. Now, this is another special context I want to give you, because the free group actually goes through a lot of different versions. So in the very beginning, right, I started using Skool back in, I don't know, very long time, more than 8 years ago, when Skool was still very new. I'm actually part of Sam Arvin's Quantum Mastermind. So I actually I'm invested in Skool as well. I'm an early user. I love Skool. I love Sam. And I have been using it just for like, just a paid members basically. It's I'm processing the payment somewhere else, and then I put the members into Skool, just like a hosting platform, right, to host the course and host the community. But I didn't do any payment processing via Skool. So that's where I started to create one of these group here, and then people just join because they paid somewhere else, like a paid customer, but they join here for free, right, just as a hosting platform. And then like I'm just charging $9 one-time fee. Yeah, $9 one-time fee, like a front-end product, and I have a funnel and upsells and everything, right? Basically, that time I was doing a one-time fee, $9 a month, and then I do a recurring on the first OTO, the first upsell for $49.99 a month, but then with a 7-day free trial. Basically, they buy a one-time $9, and then first upsell is like 7-day free trial, going to $49.99 a month. So I did just that, but then I quickly realized that the pickup rate is very low, because I'm setting up friction, right, for people to join, like a barrier, because like people have to put in credit card for the one-time fee, $9, and then this way I filter out a lot of people, right? But then the good thing is that they are like more qualified, right, because they pay $9, they are like a buyer. But then I stop a lot of people who don't buy the $9. They never see what's on the first upsell, right? So I lose out on a lot of people. And secondly, they have to convert from the free trial into paid members. That's around 25, 30 something %. and then people churn. So it's like so many layers, right? They have to go through the first layer to buy the one time, they have to start a free trial, they have to convert the free trial, and then they have to retain. I'm setting myself so many layers until I can reach the monthly recurring revenue. So eventually I switch things up, right? I'm thinking like, man, like what if I just cut off, like I just put a $9 one time straight to $9 a month. I mean, people don't actually care whether it's a one-time $9 or one-time recurring. So that actually proved it quite right, because when I change it to $9 a month, when I start processing through Skool, right, directly through Skool payment processor, $9 a month, and I started building out this community, like people just join as if it's the same like a one-time $9. So this is one lesson there. For me, like $9 one time and $9 per month is almost the same. So why not have the recurring? Even though if they stay for, let's say, 3 months on average, you're getting like $27 LTV. So I think it's just good if you are doing something low ticket, right? Just do monthly recurring revenue. Don't ever do one time, you know, like maybe if you charge higher, I'm not sure. But then for me, for my own data, $9 a month and $9 one time is probably the same. And so I did that. And then I grow that community a lot. From starting from version 1, which is they pay one time $9, they join. Secondly, they pay $9 a month directly through Skool and they join. So I built up this Skool community, right? The free group. And then eventually at one point, I tried to turn it into a free Skool, because I've been getting this idea, you know, people are getting successful with like free Skool community, right? And then I don't have a free Skool. And I always have something in the back of my mind that I know that I'm setting like a barrier that's stopping a lot of people that like a paywall, right? $9 a month. So I'm losing a lot of potential prospects. So I always have this idea of like, whether should I have a free group or not? And I'm dancing yes or no, yes or no. And then at one point, maybe like a month or so, I turn it into a free group again, right? And then after 1 month, I turn it into $9 a month again. So I'm like struggling and changing like a few times over the several months. I think like 7 or 8 months. So this whole entire evolution period, right, was like almost, I don't know, like 8 months or something, right? So it's like one time 9, recurring 9, free, go back to recurring 9, and right now go back to free, right? So it's like multiple evolutions. So sometimes when you see other people, when they have these final results, right, and then you'll be like, oh, they got the idea right away, they got the, you know, be on the right track right away, but you don't know, right, what they have been through throughout this journey of like zigzagging until you eventually reach the destination, right? So like people see right now, oh, they have a free group, like 1K members, but they don't know, right? Within this 1K, there's like one time $9, recurring $9, and then going to free, going to recurring $9, going to free, right? So there's like a mix of things, right? Maybe I even change it later on. And even the group name changed multiple times, right? I'm struggling, like what's a better brand name or whatever. So a lot of evolution. Again, so this is a context of the free group right now. Okay, so you know a little bit of context of this free group and a paid group. So right now, you know where I'm coming from. So right now, for my current strategy is to do the 2-group setup, like a free to paid, right? 2-group setup. So that's what I'm having right now. I'm fully focusing on pumping out traffic to the free group and then getting people ascend into the VIP. So let me show you. This is basically my funnel right now that I'm doing YouTube organic traffic, and then also probably some traffic from Skool Discovery. So these are like the 2 main things I want to have right now. Maybe in the future when Skool opens up the affiliate features, that will be awesome when people can start referring people straight to paid. So right now, basically I'm getting like free traffic here and then going into my free group. And then the conversion mechanism is through courses, posts, and calendar, weekly webinar, and DM closing. I do one-on-one onboarding at the very beginning, but then I ditched out that idea. I will talk about that maybe in a future videos. Why? Like all these small little yellow boxes, right? I talk about. So every box could have like a 1 episode or like 1 video, 1 story. I'll leave it another time. But as of right now, I just want to like give you like a summary is that I did do one-on-one onboarding, especially this one. The first client closed through one-on-one. This one, one-on-one onboarding. This one, one-on-one onboarding. And then this one, some of them one-on-one. Yeah, but then... And then this is where I started doing DM closing a weekly webinar, right? That's why you see the search here, right? So that's probably like the short summary as of why. But then there's like so many things I want to talk about, right? So I'll leave it another time. But then this is where I evolved from like one-on-one onboarding into somewhere else. But then right now, as of I'm recording this video, this is what I do, right? Maybe in the future, you know, when we increase our price, I'll do one-on-one onboarding, and then maybe I also do email broadcast more. Right, but then again, as of me right now recording this video is 8th of November. These are the 3 main conversion mechanisms I'm using right now, which is just organically from the features of Skool, right? So I want you guys to like appreciate and take full advantage and leverage whatever features you have on Skool, right? For example, the auto DM. manual DM, right? DM closing, super powerful, right? Weekly webinars, this is not like a native thing, but then you can use the calendar to promote the weekly webinar. Again, it's a Skool feature. And also the course, right? So what I'm doing right now is that I'm offering like a free light version of the course. So if I can just go on, this is my free group right now. So if I go into Classroom, so I'm doing this classic onboarding right now, getting this inspired from Max, right, from Skool Masterclass. So I've just joined Skool Masterclass with Max and also Skool Mastermind with the team as well. So I'm really thankful for that. Very valuable. So I highly recommend you guys to check it out, right? Thanks a lot, Sam and the team. So if you like, I'm sorry, not Sam, Max. Thanks a lot, Sam and the team. Wait, Max. Thanks a lot, Max and the team. Oh my gosh, like, I don't know why like my brain think about like Max, but then my mouth says Sam. Maybe I think about Sam too much. I think about Max and I'm saying Sam. So I'm thinking like, Skool Masterclass, right? Max Person, right? Thanks a lot, you guys and the team. So I learned a lot from you guys as well, like getting inspired, not only from like whatever course materials you have, right? More so looking at what you guys are doing. And the reason why I'm changing into free plus paid, right? It's more so I'm convinced and persuaded by just looking at the success they have, right? They are #1 Skool community right now, has MRR. What do, right? Free plus paid. So I gotta just like stop myself, like stop trying to reinvent the wheel and go through the evolution 10, 20 times. Just freaking do what's proven to work, right? So I just made up my mind, okay, do free plus paid. That's why, I evolved into the current version right now, free plus paid. And also the classroom setup, I model after them, right? We have the onboarding process and then we have the light version of the course, which if I go into there, so right now we have like a first week, which is the light version, is open up free for people. They can like go through the first 1 week, and then we have week 2, week 3, 4, and until 5, right? They have to upgrade, and then they go on to the paid one. For example, like it's set up like that. If you want to upgrade to VIP now, access the full course, they're gonna go into the paid one. So basically, that's the course, right? So it acts like a baseline conversion, organic conversion by itself, right? People go through the onboarding, they go through the light version, of course, they want to upgrade. Like they build up the value and the trust, right? They see what's working right now and get a feel of like what's inside, and then they are like much easier to convert into VIP. And also posts, right? You can make posts. I make posts. I pin the posts. I blast the post as a broadcast every 72 hours. And then also calendar, right? For you to set up like different events, maybe Q&A calls and weekly webinars. So I'm using all the basically innate, like a native features of Skool, right? And I want you guys to like fully leverage that, because it just makes you money, right? Every single feature, it just makes you money. They are there to help us, right? The school owners to convert, right? To engage and to retain customers, right? So I'm still learning how to maximize the usage of it. But then even right now, I can see so much potential. I'm just starting out. I'm just like barely touching the basics. And then I can see the results right now, the conversion happening. So I can definitely see, the huge potential there. So I think I pretty much cover some of the backstory to give you some context about the free group, how it evolves, and the paid group, how it evolves right now, and the current setup, and then also the current numbers. I'm going to keep documenting as well. And so I think in this video, I also want to touch a little bit about how I laid out the spreadsheet, right? The tracker here. And so in the next video, I might go into each one of these incidents here, like these yellow boxes that I have a note in there. And I cover each of the small lessons that I learned along the way. But then right now, I think, let's talk about the spreadsheet, right? I might change the design and layout over time. But then right now, I think it's very important for me to have the date. So I separate them by month. And also, the ranking, I think is very important, because previously I never tracked that. And I know that if I don't track something, I cannot improve on that. So whatever matters, whatever is important, I'm going to track them so that I can improve, right? I can monitor and improve. And I think, right, whatever that, Sam is a very minimalist person from what I've known over the years, right? So he only wants to show what's important, what's matter. So whatever we see on the dashboard, on the metrics, is very clean, very minimalist. And whatever they show is what they matters, right? They want to build community. They want to help billions of people find community, right? They want to build engaging community, lasting through connection of community. So I think whatever metrics they show is what matters the most to them, quote unquote Skool algorithm, but then it matters for us as well. So we are basically in line, like our goal as a school owner aligns with the goal of Skool. So I think whatever metrics they showed us is very important. Like why they show us rank is very important. Why they show us the activity, the engagement, the conversion rate, all these are important, right? So I think all of them, like initially, I don't have all of these, I just track the MRR. I think that's what most people do. I track how much money they make, how many MRR, how many paid members, but then they don't know, behind the scenes, a lot of important metrics, right? The ranking of the group, right? The free group, how much the numbers of free group that you get, right? The activity percentage of the free group, how many activities in the whole group, and the paid group as well, and then also the conversion rate, free and a paid. So these, I don't have this one, but then eventually I add them into this. So I slowly change these and tweak these into multiple versions and then settle this right now as a version 1. So I'm telling you, I'm tracking the ranking right now. And then I only start tracking today because I think previously, recently Skool just has a recent algorithm change with the Skool discovery. So the ranking affects a lot. So I think whatever previous, even if I record it, it doesn't even matter because they makes a lot of major changes right now. So I'm going to start recording today. So, I'm in a business category for both of my group. So this is ranking 225 and this is ranking 802. I remember, right, I haven't recorded, I'm not sure, but then I know when I check, it was used to be, the paid group was used to be 1,000, 2,000 something. And then it just rise to 800 when I got some fresh new members coming in. So you can see the activity, right? From 11, 22, they rack up the activity and then more new members coming in, right? So the ranking rises up to 802. And then the free group, right? It was 600 something. And so you can see the free one, we have the activity, activity here, 60 something, 20, and then how it rises to 105. And then I put a note there, how it increases from 36, 21 to 100. So I have a story to tell about that, right? Start being active. So, and then from 100 to 3, 4, 500, right? You can see this is a 3x jump. And then this is a 5x jump from here to here again. So it just grows massively with the activity here, 3x and 5x. So you can see the ranking spikes up a lot to 225. And I plan to continue to climb that to break to the first 100, eventually first 50, and we'll see how it goes, right? So that's my goal here, to continue to climb the ranking of a Skool, because I think that would get a lot of free traffic organically from Skool discovery as well. So I think it's very, very important to be a category king, right? And then having a free group, that's why having a free group is super important, because you can leverage a free traffic from Skool discovery. So it's a no-brainer having a free Skool group. So I want to talk more about that in the future, and I really want to persuade you to have one, because I've learned a hard lesson. It spent me, 8-10 months to make this decision. I talked about earlier, right? A lot of evolution, a lot of different phases and stages. And I do it right now. And this is a no-brainer. I should do it early. I should do it 1 year ago. So another thing that the purpose of this video is to just share my mistakes, right? So that you don't have to do the wrong way, basically. But I mean, ultimately, there are many ways to do it, right? Everyone is different. There's no true right or wrong. But to me personally, I would want to start with free group, if I were to restart again, for me personally, right? So this is my own opinion. You can do it yourself, right? Whatever ways that's suitable for you. So this is the ranking I'm tracking, and also the activity. So this is basically the members, right? We have 700 plus, hovering 700 plus. And the reason why we never grow is because during this time, I'm still charging $9 a month, right? Remember, I'm charging $9 a month. It's still a paid group, paid via Skool processor. And then you can see the number is rising and going down, because we always have new people coming in and people churn. People come in, people churn. But then, so I'm basically able to maintain and slightly grow a little bit, a little bit every single day, right? So just to show you that the churn is pretty huge, right? People are churning out, your people coming in. And this is still good, right? Because you can see a lot of people that their MMR drops because of people churning. But I managed to maintain and grow it a little bit, right? So you're fighting with churn over time. So, and then you can see a huge spike growing right now because I turned it into a free group. That's why we started growing and go past 1,000 right now. So this is the evolution of $9 a month and then changing to free starting from here. Okay. So this is the activity percent. You can see here it's not very active, 27, 28, 30, and then 31, for 42, right? It just rise up the activity percentage, and more activity happening in the group, right? 60 something, 2 digits into 3 digits right now, here 3 digits. And right now, 400, right? So this is the evolution of a free group, going from paid into free group. And then this paid group, again, 2 people, basically just the client, one-on-one client and myself, just 2 people in there. So I'm just designing a classroom. And then when I started to get my first annual plan client, and we just started starting growing a paid client from there. And then the activity, I don't know why it's over 100%. I don't know how Skool record this, but it's just weird. Like, I don't know, like 250% was that. So, but then it's just like decreasing over time, whatever. So it's just weird. I don't know how it works. I am foreseeing that when I get more members in, this number is going to continue to drop into something that's lesser than 100% for sure, to something that's normal. I don't know why it's like over 100, 200. If somebody knows, can you please let me know? Now, why is it 250%? How is recorded? It doesn't make sense, right? And then the conversion rate, again, I never recorded yet. And the thing about Skool is that you can never track like every day. You can only see the last 7 days. So if I show like my free group, again, for the spirit of ultimate transparency, I'll just show you my dashboard, right? I'm gonna preach whatever I'm doing. So let's see the free board right now, like settings, dashboard, super transparent. I'm bare naked right now. So I do some one-time sale. I'm trying to sell in the classroom, so I got some one-time sales there. Right now, the last 7-day traffic is 1466 and then 284 sign up, 19% conversion rate. I think it's pretty low. It's a free group. I don't know what's the industry average. Can you let me know like what's your free group conversion rate? I feel like this is pretty low. I think it should be at least 20-something%, right? Like assuming, it's from YouTube, it should be converting higher. I'm not sure. So maybe I can optimize something for the about page or whatever. So basically this is the recent numbers here. And yeah, so basically that's my dashboard. So I started to record today. So it's a 1448 visitor and conversion, 281 sign up, 19.4%. Seems to be a bit low. Putting myself a note here. And then my paid one, pretty high compared to free. Like the free is 19.4%, the paid is 13. It's like almost not much of a difference, right? Considering this is like a $39 a month thing, right? So 204 visitor and then 28 signups, 13.7%. So this is the recent last 7 days. So I might record them maybe every day right now, but then I can only record like the last 7 days. I cannot record like every day, right? Because Skool have only, like last 7 days. They're not breaking down in 1 day by 1 day fashion. So yep, so this is a column about the conversion rate. So again, let me show you, this is inside a paid group. Again, settings, the dashboard, 29 members, 1362 MRR, and then 2303, 28 signups, 13.79%. I think this is pretty high. Maybe because I'm doing a pre-launch offer and then I'm doing like a one-on-one DM and like webinar. So it's like pretty high converting. They're pretty warm. Right, they are being a free group, they get a value and then they ascend, right? So I think that's why it's pretty high. So yeah, so I think this is pretty good. But then this one, I think I have to work on this one. Okay, so this is today I just started recording this one. And then, yeah, so I think that's pretty much about this video. We cover about some of the backstory of my free group, about a paid group, how they evolve, what is my current setup right now, what is my current numbers, and then how I'm running this tracker, why do I put in these metrics, how things are going on, how they evolve, right, from a 30,000 foot view. So this number will make sense to you, right? So if I don't tell you anything, so if you just look at this, right, you'll be pretty confused, right, why it become like this. But if I give you the backstory, okay, why this thing turned out into this, right, everything makes sense. And that's another way, I want to do this content, right, this video here in a very unique way. I want to reverse engineer that. Instead of just me telling you something theory, I want to do something myself. And then once I get the real data, which is what I'm recording here, if I record the real data and feedback, I can improve, right? And I can also look back and like reverse engineer things, right? And then see whatever lessons I learned. So I can tell a story as if, for example, right, if I just to give a random person of my tracker right now, and I ask them to explain to me what happens, they could never tell. They're like, they could never justify anything. They even don't know like why this number is that way, why this is happening like that. They wouldn't know unless me myself. I am the only person who knows because I'm the one doing it. And also, I make notes, right? For example, I mark down any remarkable events that are happening. I put like a yellow highlight and I put a note there to remind myself like what changes there, what happens there to lead to this happening, right? And then I want to ultimately have this tracker sheet so that I can tell stories from the numbers. I think this is a very powerful lesson there. Like the CEOs, right, the people, they look at the statements, right, the numbers, and they can decipher a story behind it. By just looking at the balance, whatever, they can tell how the business works. And I want to develop that for myself, right? By just looking at this one sheet here, right, one tracker, I can tell how my business is going. Maybe in the future, I want to include a churn as well. I'm not sure how can I put it, right? So I definitely want to include a churn as well into there. So I wanted to ultimately, by just looking at numbers, like just pure numbers, be scientific, be analytics, I can tell a full story of how my business evolved, how is it doing right now, and what's happening in each individual time. Right, for example, what's happening in this phase here, October, what's happening in here, I can tell by just the numbers. For example, you can see like, okay, this number go from 700 to 1,000. Why? Because I turn it to free, right? So, for example, this activity increases. Why I do this, right? And why I'm having just 499, why I go to there. So you can see that every number changes. There's like a story behind that and the reason why, and I can tell by just looking at numbers. And that's my goal for myself, and the reason why I'm doing this tracker, and the reason why also I'm making this video to document the journey, so that I can remember, like sometimes if after several months, several years, I totally forget about this, right? It's just too long. So I want to just record it like real time right now, and also to put down the small details as a highlight and a note so that I can recall back. And also in the future, if I were to share something like a lesson, I can share with you guys, like not just a theory, but I did something, I got the data and the results, and I reverse engineer back from the data to show you what I've done and what have changes and what's the results, right? So I think this would be very, very helpful. I wish somebody would not just tell me a theory, but to do it something themselves. They record the data, they got some feedback, they learn a lesson, and they reverse engineer and tell me like from the numbers, what is the lessons and what they have done and how it turns out, whether it's good or not, bad or not, what to improve. I think this will be super valuable, especially if they're full transparent, showing you the ranking, the numbers, the traffic, the money, and even inside the dashboard, whatever, right? I want to be as transparent as possible so that you guys can really learn and just witness how my journey unfolds. I don't know how it's going to turn out. And I think one last thing I'll share with you guys is my goal, right? Because when I started to do this two paid stuff thing, right? My goal for myself for November is just to get 20 paid members. That's all my goal for the full November. So I want to be realistic, not setting too high goal. But then, like right now it's like 8th of November and I already get 29 members at just like 8th of November. So a few days ago, I changed my goal from 20 to 50. So I want to give myself 50. But then after it become 29 right now, I'm like, let's try to aim for 100. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to aim for 100 to close out November. I'm not sure can I do it or not. I'll try my best. There's still several weeks to go. And then after fly to Singapore, I think a 3rd week of November or something, to have like a break to attend a very good friend's wedding. So I'll see how it goes, right? I'll try my best to try to hit 100. So I think I'm aiming for 100, even though I didn't reach that. I think I'm pretty much hitting 50, 70, 80 or whatever. I think it's pretty good, like a good start. And then December, I probably want to hit for 10K MRR if I can. I'm not sure whether I want to push for the school games, because it's you have to all in 1 month. So I would prefer to do it in just a stable growth, right? To just grow stably until maybe when I'm ready, when I build a free group to be larger, maybe I want to aim for school games, or maybe somewhere 2025, right? Maybe one of the months. I don't know how it pans out, right? Things change very fast. So I will make a update video. And the next one, let me know what else do you want to learn? What else do you want to see here from this thing? And what advice and what feedback could you give me? How can I improve this tracker here to see more? Whatever important things I miss out. I think a churn, I definitely want to add a churn in there, but I don't know how to put it because it's too complex. The churn is too complex, it changes. It's hard to put it into a simple spreadsheet. So again, I want to as comprehensive as possible, but at the same time, not too complex and keep it minimal and simple. Right, so I don't know how to add a churn in there. I'll try to figure out, and can please share some feedback, and also what is your takeaway from there? And do you like this video? What do you want to learn next? Right, let me know. And I think probably the next video I will start talking about some of the yellow boxes, right, to tell the story, what I've done, what are the numbers, and then what I've done inside the community. Yeah, so basically, I think that's my rough idea. I don't know, there's no plan, it's non-scripted, I'm nothing to sell you. And please don't join my group, please don't buy my stuff, it's not for you, don't steal my data, please. So basically that's all for this video, right? Let me know if you like it. I'll see you in the next one.